Yo, what's good everybody, it's your boy Malcolm, and I'm back for another video, and in today's video, we are going to be reviewing the new movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's get into it. But before we get into the actual movie review, make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that noti bell because I'm dropping 2 videos a week every single week, and you guys do not want to miss it. And if you want more nerd content from me, I have about 3 hours worth of content every single week on my podcast, The Storm Podcast, where me and 2 of the bros talk about all things anime, movies, comics, and everything of the sort. So check that out. But without further ado, let's get into this review. Full transparency moment here. Before the movie, me and my 2 friends tried to give what we thought the movie would be out of 10. And my hopes were not that high. I gave it a 7 out of 10. That was my prediction. My other friend gave it an 8, and then my other friend gave it another 7. And that just goes to show that my hopes were not that high for this movie. One, I haven't been super crazy about the stuff Marvel's putting out. I'm not gonna say that they're not putting out some good stuff. I just feel like they've been highly inconsistent. And based off the fact that I wasn't a super big fan of Deadpool 2, I didn't feel like I was gonna be a very big fan of Deadpool 3. After seeing the movie, I can tell you guys, I enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. If I had to give this movie a rating out of 10, I would probably say an 8.5 or a 9. It was awesome. Everything you would want from a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, we got. It was cameos galore. It was absolutely hilarious. There was a good amount of violence. Really, anything that you wanted from a Deadpool movie, this was it. Honestly, I do not think it is a hot take for me to say that Deadpool and Wolverine was the funniest movie that the MCU has ever put out. It is funnier than any Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It is funnier than Thor Ragnarok. Honestly, it was funnier than all the other Deadpools. This movie had me laughing from the opening credit scene all the way to the ending. It wasn't just the off-the-brand slapstick comedy either. There were a lot of moments of that, but it was real, well thought out comedy. I thought it was absolutely awesome. Heads up, from this point on, there are going to be spoilers in this review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you really care about spoilers, click away, save this video, and come back and watch it after you see the movie. From the very first scene of the movie, I was locked in. Now, we can all agree that the opening scene of Deadpool 1 is iconic and incredible. I am going to take it a step further and say the opening scene of this movie may have been better. Now, was the action better? Probably not. Deadpool singing bye 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 during the entire fight was hilarious. The action wasn't better, but it was by far funnier. It is rare for me to actually laugh out loud in the theater, and the opening scene, watching him sing bye 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 and dance and all that, had me fucking dying, bro. And even though the action was better in the first opening scene of Deadpool 1, this action wasn't bad. There was hella TVA agents coming after him, and he was beating the fuck out of each of them individually. The fact that they had him using Wolverine's bones to kick their, man, that shit was great. It was incredible. I will say one thing I wasn't absolutely crazy about. I don't think I necessarily needed the story arc of Deadpool really wanting to be a hero. I understand that it is a movie and it's an MCU movie, so there needs to be a driving plot. But I'm not particularly here to see Deadpool be a hero. I kind of like him as a morally ambiguous mercenary. Like, I kind of like it when he doesn't have a bigger, greater purpose to fight for. So that was a huge chunk of the movie, because a lot of the movie was him trying to do something greater than himself and save his universe. But because in this movie, he didn't really feel like an anti-hero. He kind of just felt like a hero. And that's fine. I have no beef with that, but I didn't need it. Like the scene of him in the car shop and things like that, and seeing him and his girlfriend's past, that part I didn't exactly need. Now, the comedic aspects that came with that, like him sitting down with Happy trying to be an Avenger, that was hilarious. Especially when Happy started talking about we as the Avengers. He's like, yo, you're not an Avenger. Is your power parallel parking? There were just so many jokes. And I really like Happy, so seeing him and jokes at his expense, it just works so perfectly together. Easily one of the best and funniest moments in the movie. Not the funniest, but one of the funniest parts of the movie was when they were in the void and you see Chris Evans show up. And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I cannot believe that they chose to use a Deadpool movie to bring back Captain America. This is crazy. And then Chris Evans started cursing and acting out of character. And I was like, wow, they're leaning really into this rated R shit. I don't know what is going on with him, but he's way different. When I tell you, this man yelled flame on and turned into the Human Torch, I was in that theater dying. I was laughing so hard that I missed the next 2 or 3 lines of dialogue, because that was the last thing I was expecting in that moment. Deadpool was like, he's gonna say the words. He's gonna say the words. Think he was gonna say Avengers Assemble. Flame on! I was floored. And to build off of that, just the fact that this movie had so many cameos, I was nervous to watch this movie because I knew it was Deadpool getting introduced to the MCU. I knew that the TVA was introduced, so it was going to be variants, and there was just going to be so many cameos in this movie. I will say all the cameos in this movie fit. They didn't feel forced. They didn't feel random. They all felt like they fit in perfectly fine. The Human Torch, Blade, Elektra, Wolverine, X-23, even Thor. All those moments worked so well, and it didn't feel crowded. It didn't feel unnecessary. It really just added to the movie, especially the fact that a lot of these characters are more serious characters, especially all the X-Men, the Fox characters. Most of them are pretty serious, but they found a way to add in comedy and make it comedic and funny with all of these extra characters. Especially seeing Blade and Channing Tatum's Gambit. When I saw Gambit's card, I got so fucking hyped because I am a Gambit fan through and through, especially after watching X-Men 97 this year. When I saw it was Channing Tatum, bro, me and my dogs were in the theater dying. Because let's be honest, who the fuck wanted Channing Tatum to be Gambit? Nobody really wanted that. So it was absolutely hilarious to see it happen. And then on top of that, his accent was fucking ridiculous. It was great. And the moment when Blade came up and Deadpool said, I thought you were retired. And Blade said, you know what he said. I was absolutely shocked and floored. And here's the thing. I know that a lot of people are going to have an issue with that scene. I don't personally have an issue with it. I think it was handled as tastefully as you can, especially this being a Deadpool movie. I honestly think it did add to the movie, and I know that's probably a controversial take, but I think that moment, it was perfect. It was slapstick. It wasn't offensive. At least I don't feel like it was offensive. Obviously, if someone feels otherwise, they're perfectly entitled to do so. But if I'm being completely honest, I think it worked. I think it worked, and it was really off the cuff. It got you out your seat. I think it worked. But I would like to know in the comments whether you feel like it worked or not, or if you felt like it was offensive, because I think that that's going to polarize people. Even it being a Deadpool movie, the MCU taking a jump and throwing the Hail Mary of having that word be in the movie, it's definitely a risk. So I really want to see how people are reacting to it. All right. Now let's spend some time talking about Wolverine in this movie. I wasn't super excited to have Wolverine in this movie because I think Logan gave him a perfect end, and you guys know how I feel. I feel like endings are beautiful. I think that there are a lot of franchises that are pushing things too far and trying to bring back stuff and go back on plot points. So I wasn't excited to see Wolverine in this movie. I will say he was a boost and a benefit to the movie. However, I don't think he boosted and benefited the movie enough to the point where I felt like he was necessary. Especially this version of Wolverine, because he's supposed to be the worst Wolverine. So he was very moody and aggressive, which did work with Deadpool's nature. But I feel like this movie would have been almost as good, almost as exciting, almost as funny, almost as impactful without him. I don't think they needed to go back on what Logan did in order to make this movie. Granted, it's not the biggest deal in the world. It really isn't. I think they still handled it in a as respectful and funny matter as they could about the movie, but I don't think he was super necessary to the movie. His whole arc of being the worst Wolverine and really wanting to atone for what he did, it was cool. It was alright. I didn't need it. It was just okay. And then on top of that, they kept hinting and poking at the fact that he was bad and he did this wrong and he did that wrong and he did all these things. Maybe I'm bugging. Feel like what he did wasn't that bad or that crazy. I thought he was gonna do something to let down the entire world. They were making it seem like this was a world-bearing issue and it was something crazy and unexpected. I don't feel like it's that wild for him to be angry at the fact that all his friends get murked and go on a killing spree. Now, killing innocent people is pretty crazy, even for Wolverine, but I feel like they kind of made it a bigger deal than it was. Like, I do get it is crazy. He let down Charles and he let down the world, but they was acting like he was worse than Magneto. Like he was really, like he let the entire world down. I don't feel like he did. I feel like that was a very Wolverine thing to do to an extent. Like he was Weapon X, for God's sakes. He has killed innocent people before. Another thing we could talk about is the villain. Now the villain was Professor X's sister, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I had never heard of her before. I feel like I've maybe vaguely heard that he had a twin. I didn't need her. She wasn't the greatest villain in the world, but like that's the thing about this movie. The plot wasn't really what I was there for. I enjoyed this movie a lot because it was fun and it was funny. The plot and the villains and the character arcs, they were okay. They were cool, but it was extremely fun. Like her motives, she just wanted to run the abyss or whatever the fuck that little area is called. She just wanted to run that and be in control of that. She was kind of just lashing out because she never got the love of her brother. Okay, that's cool. I'm not really mad at it. None of the characters were super deep in this movie. And did you really expect them to be? It's a Deadpool movie. Now I will say I'm glad she died at the end of the movie because I really never want to see her again. She's too OP. She has too much power. She shouldn't really be around. Same with that Paradox guy. He was the villain, but he was also kind of boring. I never need to see him again. And even Wolverine, I'm kind of glad that it ended off with Wolverine leaving. As much as I did like Wolverine in this movie, I don't feel like he was necessary and I don't feel like we need to see him again. It'll be cool if he pops back again later down the line in a final Avengers movie for this phase and shit like that. Cool. That's fine. But I don't think we need him to just be popping up and being around and things like that. Like Deadpool, he's definitely going to be popping up in Marvel movies from now on because Deadpool is a fourth wall breaking character. That's what he does. I don't want Wolverine popping up everywhere. Speaking of Deadpools popping up everywhere, the scene with all the Deadpools, great. I loved it because not only did it have good fight choreography, it had a good amount of violence, but not like overly gory just for the sake of being gory. But it was also pretty funny just seeing all the different versions of Deadpool that we've seen over the years. We got Dogpool, we got Ladypool, we got Kidpool, Cowboypool, because we know there's a billion different versions of Deadpool, and having them all pop up and be in there, great and hilarious. Especially Nicepool. The scene where he got absolutely lit up with the bullets was hilarious. Overall, I don't think there's a lot that I need to say about this movie. The plot wasn't really there. The character development wasn't really there. The villains weren't there, but it is a lot of fun. If you just want to see a funny movie, this is the one. As far as Marvel movies go, I think this is the funniest one. The next closest one is probably Ragnarok. This movie was just hilarious. I also think it's very funny how inconsistent the MCU has been and how inconsistent the reactions to the MCU has been in the last couple years. Cause we got Ant-Man and everybody's like, oh my God, the MCU fucking sucks. We're absolutely done. And then we get Guardians 3 and everybody's like, whoa, the MCU is back. There's hope. Everything's gonna be okay. And then the Marvels comes out and everybody's like, oh my God, the MCU is done. This shit sucks. And now Deadpool comes out and everybody's like, yes, the MCU is back. We're all good. Everything's okay. I think the next movie coming out is gonna be Captain America with, Falcon being the new Captain America. I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. The trailer made it look like it's gonna be good, but You never know with Marvel. They've been extremely inconsistent recently. I'm gonna stand by Marvel no matter what. Every Marvel movie that has come out, I have been in the seats to watch it. I can't say the same things about the TV shows. I'm not watching Echo. I tried. It was boring. I never got through Loki season 2. Kind of boring to me. But the movies, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch those movies because I'm going to stand by Marvel through the good and the bad. But I definitely think that Deadpool 3 was one of the goods. It definitely exceeded my expectations. And if you want something fun to watch, this is the movie to watch. But please, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys thought about the movie, whether you liked it, disliked it, and let me know about that moment that kind of happened. I want to know how you guys feel about that. Overall, that's pretty much all I got to say on this. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys have not done so already, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that noti bell because I got more videos coming. I should have more videos coming this weekend. I have 2 videos planned out. One that's probably going to drop on Sunday and another one I got coming on Monday, and you don't want to miss it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.